Geometry Dictionary by Layli Colgrove. Plane. A plane is a flat surface that extends indefinitely in all directions. The surface of a table or a sheet of paper are both parts of a plane. Point. A point names a location in space. A, B, and C are points in a plane. Line. A line is straight. It is a set of points that extends forever in opposite directions. Line segment. A line segment is part of a line between two endpoints. Ray. A ray is the part of a line that starts at an endpoint. A ray goes on forever in one direction. Angle. An angle is formed by two rays with the same endpoint. Right angle. A right angle is 90 degrees. There is a real-life example of a right angle. Acute angle. An acute angle is less than 90 degrees. There is a real-life example of an acute angle. Obtuse angle. An obtuse angle is more than 90 degrees. There is a real-life example of an obtuse angle. Straight angle. A straight angle is 180 degrees. There is a real-life example of a straight angle. Intersecting lines. Intersecting lines are lines that meet or cross at a common point. There is a real-life example of intersecting lines. Perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines are intersecting lines that form four right angles. There is a real-life example of perpendicular lines. Parallel lines. Parallel lines are lines in the same plane that will never intersect. There is a real-life example of parallel lines. Circles. A circle is a plane figure. All the points on a circle are the same distance from a given point, called the center. There is a real-life example of a circle. Radius. Any line segment with endpoints at the center of the circle and on the circle is a radius. There is a real-life example of a radius. Diameter. Any line segment that passes through the center of a circle and has both endpoints on the circle is a diameter. There is a real-life example of a diameter. Chord. Any line segment with both endpoints on the circle is a chord. There is a real-life example of a chord. Simple closed curve. A simple closed curve is a path that begins and ends at the same point and does not cross itself. There is a real-life example of a simple closed curve. Parallelogram. Parallelogram has opposite sides that are parallel and that are the same length. There is a real-life example of a parallelogram. Rectangle. A rectangle also has opposite sides that are parallel and that are the same length. All the angles of a rectangle are right angles. There is a real-life example of a rectangle. Square. A square has opposite sides that are parallel. All its sides are the same length. All the angles of a square are right angles. There is a real-life example of a square. Rhombus. A rhombus has opposite sides that are parallel. All four sides are the same length. There is a real-life example of a rhombus. Trapezoid. A trapezoid has exactly one pair of parallel sides. There is a real-life example of a trapezoid. Polygons. A polygon is a simple closed, flat figure made out of 3 or more line segments. There is a real-life example of a polygon. Regular polygons. A regular polygon is a shape with sides of equal length and angles of equal measures. There is a real-life example of a regular polygon. Right triangles. All right triangles have one right angle. There is a real-life example of a right triangle. Isosceles triangles. All isosceles triangles have at least 2 sides equal in length. There is a real-life example of an isosceles triangle. Equilateral triangles. All the sides of an equilateral triangle are equal in length. There is a real-life example of an equilateral triangle. Scalene triangles. None of the sides of a scalene triangle are equal in length to each other. There is a real-life example of a scalene triangle. Similar figures. Similar figures have exactly the same shape. They may or may not be the same size. Congruent figures. Congruent figures are similar, but they are always the same size. Slides. A slide or translation is a movement of a figure along a line without flipping or turning. Flips. A flip or reflection is the movement of a figure over a line so that the figure faces the opposite direction. The line may be imaginary. Turns. A turn or rotation is a movement of a figure around a point.